It is day 37 of my fruit fast. And the past few days have entered into a state of transformative acceleration, to say the least. As the remembrance of the power of my will and of its alignment with God have been coming into being, have been coming online, so too have all the ways in which I have programmed fear into my body. I have mentioned in the past that I have, in my perception, a tendency to universalize. Every speck of sand contains the entire universe within it. The microcosm always contains the macrocosm. And as such, every time that I witness fear, I am witnessing universal fear. And what universal fear looks like is hell. So that in the past 2 days, as I've been in particular ceremonies, sober ceremonies, pondering the question of kingship and the false kings which I have allowed into my kingdom through my own wounds and self-suppression, tyranny, and puppetry. The tyrant king and the puppet king. Archetypes of wounded boys going about the world in a way to fulfill their needs in a way that is unhealthy, in a way that simply projects outwards their wounds. On the other side, within the depths of my heart, within the depths of my soul, within the depths of who I actually am, there is an honest king. A radiant emanation of my soul, standing in integrity, in truth, in honesty, in love, in care. The ideal of the perfect father that so many people in this world are lacking. Not to say that I am a perfect king, that I am a perfect being, that I am a perfect father ideal. I'm not even a father. Not yet. But I've been invited, not merely in and of itself, but ritualistically, prayerfully, to witness within myself this inner king, as well as the deluded kings, and to witness how each of these still exist within my body, as well as within my hands and within my will. For they exist in a state of potentiality and actuality. And from the state of potentiality, my will has the ability to actualize. So that in the invitation to ponder my kingship, and my soul's mission, and the ideality of living purely in integrity at all times. What kind of life does that look like? What is a life motivated by my soul's purpose and my soul's mission? Deciding I won't cling to weakness any longer. I won't stay stuck in the idea that I'm not ready, in the comfort of that, and the avoidance of responsibility that imposes. Pondering that is terrifying in two ways. The first way is it holds a mirror to the level of responsibility that I must assume not only over my own life, but over the lives that I impact and inspire by pursuing the divine path of my mission. That in and of itself isn't necessarily terrifying. It's just like, whoa, whoa. And the second thing, which is triggered by feeling into that reality, is witnessing all of the ways in which I have programmed and coded fear and self-limitation and avoidance and deceit into my body. And I walk upon the edge between the potentiality of my soul and the deepest fears that keep me from actually stepping into it, or that have kept me for such a long time. And as I said, I view the universal in the particular. So when I confront these fears, when I walk upon its edges, when I peer into its depths, when I peer into its darkness, when I fall into its void by way of feeling in order to heal, when I peer into the reflections which the world offers me to invite me into a deeper confrontation of these fears, they take on the appearance of universality. And that is where it's terrifying. And that's where God is asking me, guiding me. Are you truly ready? Are you truly ready to shed these layers? And to step into the responsibility which I've woven into your being, which really, even though you have free will, it's not your choice. You're gonna do it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And maybe I could be afraid. I could choose fear for this lifetime and follow that trajectory for as long as I need to avoid the weight of the responsibility. I can. I witness how that choice is available to me. but I also witness the truth of what that choice is. Hell, limitation, imprisonment, looping, and a perpetual void of purgatory. So I confront these things. I weigh them on the balances of justice, on the scales of my Chiron in Libra, witnessing my core wound, confronting it with my will, with my sword of discernment. And for so long, all of my discernment has been up here. Oh, is it going to be this? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be this? And the mind, for thousands of years, the collective mind of humanity has never been able to agree about anything. Has only ever stayed stuck in loops and debates about, oh, this is right, this is wrong. God exists, God doesn't exist. Goodness is this, goodness is that. Morality looks like this, morality looks like that. The mind has been doing this for eons. We've built entire academies over this to enter into these perpetual discourses. I have two brothers who live in those academies, and they feel like they're stuck. And they're repeating the same scripts that have been repeated for thousands of years, telling the stories in different ways, just slightly more refined and particularized. But nevertheless, the labyrinth of the mind remains. And meanwhile, the heart, the blessed heart, the heart knows. And the heart just says, I am. I am. I am. And the heart also says, I am in pain when my mind stays stuck in these loops on a micro level and on a macro level. I am the heart. I am the earth. I am tired of my children going to war with one another over these ideas, over these ideals, when all of the truths are here within. When the peace that every human being is looking for is here within. A gift of God, universalized by way of breath. But that in itself, to my mind, to my Chiron in Libra, which must weigh the scales of justice, must consider both possibilities. I witness not just this duality up here, but this duality between heart and mind. Still some part of my mind, some part in my being that says, well, is the mind, is rationality, is logos the ultimate metaphysical epistemological framework to actually find our way to truth, to God, to freedom? And all my tendencies of mental analysis and rational analysis, even though my felt experience of reality tells me otherwise, tells me this shit gets in the way. Still, the patterns the scripts, the cultivations, the stories which I've kept within my mind and told myself over and over and over again and coded into my body, they still emerge and present themselves. And when within the depth of my heart, I feel and I know that I am a multidimensional being, and that I am inherently connected to Mother Earth and Father Sky and Father God and Mother Goddess, in ways in which I embody them microcosmically, and I can feel tangibly within my sensuous experience their presence and their breaths weaving through my body, and the gifts of that, and the universal, far-reaching aspects of that, literal luminaries in the sky shining within my body. I feel it. And I feel this deep ancestral wildness of thousands of human beings and thousands of hearts and thousands of minds and thousands of pairs of eyes who have all lived and breathed before me to eventually birth my body through my parents, God and Goddess, man and woman. The divine polarity of divine union coming in to create a child, now a man, pondering all of the ways in which he's avoided his own kingship. And being asked, are you ready to reclaim the kingdom of your own heart? It's not just my heart, and it's not just my mind, which have been in a relationship of extraction and imprisonment and suppression. There are so many human hearts carrying the hearts of their ancestors and of their progeny, carrying the lights of the luminaries and the stars and the breaths of God and the breaths of Goddess, unified into a microcosmic whole. I am particular, but I embody the universal. And if we look around the world at how human beings operate with one another, at how human beings treat their hearts, one another's hearts, treat the earth, treat the sky, I'm confronting that universal struggle within myself. And my heart is breaking free from all of its chains and confines. And this means that I'm facing all of the fears which not only I have carried, but that humanity has carried. Perhaps not all of the fears of all of humanity, but all of the fears of my ancestors, certainly. And universal microcosmic instantiations of fear, which is essentially coded into animality itself. I'm facing it. And within that as well, when the primordial ancestral wildness of our being, the animality and the sacred intelligence of divine harmony between earth and sky that exists innately and naturally within our bodies, within our minds, within our souls, the divine harmony of being, when that in itself has been specifically targeted and challenged, and I feel my ancestral primordial wildness coming out, resurrecting, fighting against all of the ways in which it has been suppressed, microcosmically, macrocosmically. Given the level of suppression that has happened on this earth and the depth of deception that has gone into that, whether self-deception or externally imposed deception, that doesn't matter because I am witnessing it. I am witnessing the tangible, felt ripples of that deception within my being. And there have been many scripts, stories, narratives, behaviors, wars imposed upon that primordial animacy and animality and wildness of my being, of our being. And they are still going on. Technologies specifically designed to target. I won't get into it. All to say that the fears are emerging. The fears are emerging. And somehow, with God by my side, I'm supposed to embody the fact that they are illusions. When for long, the knowledge that they are illusions have stayed up here. And they've danced and been like, what a nice idea. Beautiful. Great. And now God is like, all right, you ready to put it into practice? Because I need you to. It's time. Like, come on. And through free will and perception, we can choose how the filtration systems of our perception impose themselves upon reality, interact with reality, form symbiotic enmeshments with reality. And I am being offered a choice. Do you want to stay stuck in the perceptive lens of fear? Or do you want to choose love? Do you want to choose faith? Faith in God, that even if the fears will try to challenge that faith itself, take you to hell and say, do you still believe? And I say yes. And there may still be hints, specters and ghosts of that illusory fear still clinging. But in face of that, my heart and my will and my solar plexus are shining like a sun, beaming. Simply saying, I am. And I am who I am. And I am who I am as God has created me. All imperfections be shed. All delusions, all conditioning, all programming, all distortions, all deceit be shed. I have the ability to choose. At least to some extent. How much I will let these delusions, these illusions, these self-deceits cling to me. And where I feel powerless, I have my prayer. And where I feel empowered, I have my prayer. And my prayer weaves its way into and through my heart. And breathes itself into my life. That's it. That's where I am on my journey. I don't know what is next. It's day 37. We'll see what day 40 holds and beyond.